Hey YouTube, welcome back to my financial focus. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing some news that's been surrounding Alibaba stock in the recent times so we can get a better understanding of where the bigger investors stand in terms of investing in Alibaba. And then I'm also going to be analyzing one of the companies that Mohnish Pabrai bought to replace his stake in Alibaba. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I'm going to talk about here is how Mohnish Pabrai, he slashed his stake in Alibaba in the third quarter by pretty much 77%. We can see right here, he sold 201,000 shares of Alibaba, chopping his holding by 77.83%, which is the equivalent of about 16% of his portfolio. And then we can see right here at the moment, Alibaba is ranked 8 out of 10 on several positive signs in terms of profitability, and they have an operating margin that outperforms more than 78% of global competitors. At the moment, some of the bigger investment firms and funds that are holding Alibaba include Charlie Munger's fund, the Daily Journal, Prime Cap Management, and Bailey Guilford. And then right here we can see that Micron Technology is a stock that Mohnish Pabrai, not Charlie Munger, that Mohnish Pabrai decided to buy to replace his stake in Alibaba. Right here we can see that he purchased 27,150 shares of Micron Technology, increasing his position by 1.75%. It's trading at about, or was trading in the third quarter at about $75 per share, which is slightly overvalued based on analysts' current analyses of the stock. And some people who are holding Micron Technology at the moment include PrimeCap and Lilu's portfolio, Himalaya Capital Management. Right here we can see that another firm that's been selling off China's tech stocks is Temasek. Amid the crackdown by Beijing, they're still trying to decide whether or not Alibaba, or not even just Alibaba, but still trying to decide whether or not China in general is investable as a result of the recent regulatory crackdowns and the fallout that's been coming from the regulatory tightenings. Right here we can see that they are unclear whether or not these transactions involve the US listed shares or the Hong Kong equivalents, but I think just understanding that some of these firms, including the next firm like Shell, how their positioning on Alibaba is decreasing, could give us some insight into how the bigger funds and firms are looking at Alibaba and China as a total investment. We can see right here Shell's pension also dropped Alibaba, and so these three investors in particular, Mohnish Pabrai, Temasek, and Shell, they clearly have bearish views on Alibaba. Recently, Alibaba had their Singles Day sale, but unfortunately in 2021 it came out that it was the slowest sales growth during this year's single day sale compared to previous years. If I scroll down right here, we can see they talk about how the increase in 2021 over 2020 came out to only be 8.5%, which is a lot, but compared to their increase from 2019 to 2020, which was 26%, it definitely shows a slowdown in growth for Alibaba's single day sales. And right here we see that Longleaf Partners, they're talking about how Alibaba is currently still in money losing investment mode. And right here they talk about how their cloud business and community group returns and profitability are deeply understated, and they believe that as Alibaba's business continues to grow and scale up, that they'll start generating higher margins that will accelerate their profitability and their return on equity in the future. And then the last article that I'm going to be looking at here before I get into analyzing Micron Technology, which is a stock that Mohnish Pabrai bought to replace his shares in Alibaba, is this article right here, which talks about why Alibaba's stock gained 11% last month. And they talk about, this guy right here, Jeremy Bowman, talks about how he thinks that it was heavily influenced, well, not heavily, but slightly influenced by Wall Street bets and their bullish outlook on Alibaba and how they see it being undervalued and how they think that it'll grow into the future. But this, of course, doesn't change much about the overall global economic perspective on China and the regulatory environment from the Chinese government. But obviously on November 18th, Alibaba is going to be coming out with their earnings report. So time will tell to see how Alibaba has been faring as a result of the regulatory crackdowns from the CCP. Now, to get into detail about Micron Technology, which is a stock that Mohnish Pabrai bought to replace his shares in Alibaba, we can see right here, Micron Technology, it's down today about 0.5%. Over the last month, it's up 13%, up 8% over the last 3 months, 28% over the last year, and 333% over the last 5 years. Right down here, we can see that they engage in the provision of innovative memory and storage solutions, and they make a lot of different business units, like for compute and networking, mobile storage, and embedded purposes. And so I just want to figure out what exactly it is that Mohnish Pabrai bought by doing a quick little intrinsic value analysis for Micron Technology, like I've done for different stocks and businesses in past videos. We can see right here that their income statement seems to me like it's a little bit disappointing, because we can see that from 2018 to 2020, their revenues have declined steadily, and so have their gross margins. And then their net income has also declined. So I'm not too sure why that is, but getting a good understanding of the financial health of a business could help us understand where the business might go in the future. Right here, we see for their balance sheet, their total assets have increased year over year from 48 billion, sorry, this is in millions, 48 billion in total assets up to 53 billion in total assets. And then their total equity has increased from 36 billion to 38 billion. And lastly, for their cash flow statement, we can see that the net cash provided by their operating activities has declined since 2018 to 2020. And in 2020, they spent heavily on property, plant, and equipment investments. And then from their financing activities, they mainly just repaid some of their debts, trying to lower their liabilities on their balance sheet. And then lastly, what I want to do is do a discounted cash flows analysis based on their current cash flows to figure out what a good buying price would be for Micron Technology for those of us who might be looking to invest in it and follow in Mohnish Pabrai's footsteps. So we can see right here the growth rate for years 1 through 5 for Micron Technology, which I got from Yahoo Finance, which came out to be 22.26%. Comes out right here. And then for the years 6 through 10, I'm just going to be conservative and slash that in half. For the year 1 free cash flow, I got that from TradingView, which came out to be $2.44 billion. Net cash minus net debt from Yahoo Finance came out to be $1.29 billion. Stock ticker is MU, and then the shares outstanding came out to be 1.12 billion shares, as we can see right here, 1.12 billion. And so after doing those calculations, we see that based on this model with these assumed growth rates, the intrinsic value per share comes out to be about $58 per share, which would put Micron Technology at a bit of an overvaluation at the moment, trading at $76.43 per share on the open market. And it wouldn't meet the 30% or 50% margin of safeties. But let's say theoretically that we were to keep the growth rates for years 6 through 10 steady from years 1 through 5. Hold on. If we did that, the intrinsic value per share would come out to $85 per share. So that would put Micron Technology at a bit of an undervaluation at the moment. But that's only assuming that they would be able to maintain a 22% growth rate per year for the next 10 years, which is a lot to ask. But obviously, Mohnish Pabrai sees this as a bit of a bullish play since he's been buying more of Micron Technology over a period of time. So I would definitely like to know what you guys think about Micron Technology and also what you guys think about Alibaba. Clearly, there are some investors like Charlie Munger who are bullish on Alibaba, and I made a video about that in the past. So if you guys want to check that out, I definitely recommend it. I also did an intrinsic value analysis on Alibaba stock to figure out what a good buying price would be for that from a value investing perspective. But there are obviously also some bearish investors like Mohnish Pabrai, Temasek, Shell, and some other investors that I spoke about in the previous video as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Micron Technology and about Alibaba. And if this video provided any value to you guys, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see everyone in the next one.